Good afternoon. This is True Crime Saturdays with me, Miss Kirsten. Okay, baby. This is pre-recorded, and I'm going to start with your disclaimer. This video information being provided is for informational and educational purposes only, and is not to intimidate or shock or provoke any of you viewers. It's to raise awareness of the crime-related commentary. Using a copyright disclaimer under Section 107, states allowance is made for fair use purposes, news reporting, and research. So the story that I am covering today is of this beautiful little girl you see on my screen. On this picture, she's about 2 months old in her father's arms. The father's name is Seth Welch. The mother's name is Tatiana Welch. Tatiana, a little bit of background about Tatiana. She went to school for childhood education and development at Grand Rapids Community College. She tried to stay with her mom, but allegedly drugs were involved and her mom put her out. Initially, her and Seth met at Grand Rapids College. Seth was raised in a conservative Christian home. He had a farm to be self-sufficient and to have no contact with the outside world. He also did not believe in vaccinations or doctors, to be frank. Now, after Tatiana and Seth met at Grand Rapids, they moved in after their first date. They moved in together after their first date. Shortly after, they were married and kids. They began to start having kids. The first child they had was Elizabeth. She was the oldest, and she was born with THV in her system. At this time, CPS was called, and that was the first time they came in contact with CPS, but definitely not the last. Elizabeth also had a little brother, Seth Jr., and then here comes Mary Ann, the baby that this story is about. Mary Ann was born October the 3rd, 2017, and at that time, of course, they had 3 children. Mary Ann weighed at birth 6 pounds and 4 ounces. I can go ahead and tell you at her time of death, she weighed 8 pounds, 1 ounce. Okay, back to Tatiana and Seth. Okay, they moved in together. They had a farm. Seth thought he was gonna make a lot of money. Turns out he didn't. They didn't. And Tatiana was the one to get the job, not Seth. He asked her to get a job outside the home so that he could continue working with the farm and take care of 3 babies under 4. You wonder how he did that? Don't worry about it, because he didn't. Honestly, 3 babies under 4 is hard for the average mother. For a father? Come on, y'all. So let's continue with this story. At the time Tatiana got the job at McDonald's, baby Mary Ann was about 5 or 6 months old. It was told to the police officers that Tatiana would breastfeed Mary Ann before work. And that's it. She would breastfeed her before work. And she would go to work at 3 in the evening, most times getting off at 10:30 or 11 p.m. She would get home. She told them she would peep in. She'd see her sleep. And she'd go take her shower. Let me pause right here. Mothers, you're going to work all day, come home and peep at your little bitty baby, not even go see if her diaper's changed, not even go see if there's any bruises or nicks on her, not even just go kiss her. Okay. So this was her ritual for the duration until the day of her death. The day before Tatiana's death, she slept from 3 p.m., allegedly, 3 p.m. till 11 a.m. When they found her, she was dead at 11 a.m. Now, of course, this baby slept a lot. She was emaciated. She was vitamin compromised. Her energy was gone. Her bones were frail. She was hungry. She was literally starving. And in my own opinion, I believe she was actually abused. Let me take you back to in the court proceedings. A text message was read that Seth sent Tatiana. The text message read, "Come and get this cunt. She's wild. I've already gagged her twice." Coming from a father about his youngest child, he hated this child. This is my humble opinion. He hated this child. She came in, seemed like to him everything was good until she was born. He never wanted the baby, according to Tatiana, anyway. So instead of him taking it out on Tatiana or his own big, evil, broke, you know what, he took it out on this poor baby. Okay, now, the day of her death, he called 911, yes he did, but it was an hour and a half after she was, or after that he found her dead. Seth called his lawyer, his mother, and even a man about buying a goat before he even tried to call 911 about his baby girl. Now, when the paramedics and the police got there and saw this baby, everyone's eyes was full of tears. They said in their years of doing so, they've never seen a baby so bad off. Mind you, at her time of death, Mary Ann was 10 months old, but she only weighed 8 pounds. So the paramedic asked, it says she's 10 months old. Should this be 10 days old? Because she looked like a newborn. Also, while in the home, because of her emaciated look, her jaws being sunken in, her eyes being sunken in, they came to the immediate result that it was a homicide. So at this point, they began to ram the home. There were flies, gnats, termites, rat feces in drawers, in sinks, on the floor, animal feces on the floor. The mattress that the poor baby was embedded in, and I do mean embedded in, was full of urine, full of feces, and it was black and molded. Now, because Tatiana said when she gets off work, she doesn't look in on this child, Seth apparently hasn't did anything to this child. This baby was just rotting away, using the bathroom. It wasn't much because they weren't feeding anything, so she didn't have much to, get rid of. However, what she did get rid of is stayed on her. Seth was asked in an interview question in the interrogation room, when was the last time did he change her diaper, because he would see how bad off she was with her bones protruding, etc., etc. Now, this man said about a month out. They weren't changing her diapers. They weren't bathing this baby. They weren't feeding this baby. They weren't loving this baby. That baby rotted away and was starved to death in a crib for at least 3 to 4 months. At least 3 to 4 months. Now, Tatiana goes to say, trying to save face and say she didn't take care of the baby because Seth was abusive to her. Okay. I can believe that. He seemed like a real mean, big, low self-esteem dude. However, Tatiana, you left the home every day of the week. You was at work 3 to 10. You had ample time to get help for you and for your children. So, to make a long story short, guys, these two were given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. I would like to know, do you think this was sufficient or a little bit much? I also would like to tell you my view on everything about this case. Don't you ever allow anybody, the other biological parent, a step-parent, a mother, father, a friend, anyone, to manipulate you into negating your child's needs. You are the advocate for your child. You are the voice for your child. Your child can't speak for themselves. You know, I would literally lay my life down for my babies. A man couldn't tell me if I did have to work some kind of way. I'm going to make a way to come home on my break to breastfeed my baby. Or I'm going to pump. Well, actually, if she had a pump, he wouldn't have fed her. He didn't have anything to do with his child. So again, I would have made a way to get home and breastfeed my child. Or, like I say, have a bottle made, and I will come home and feed her that bottle. If I couldn't, which I would, but in her case, if she didn't come in on that time, definitely at 11 o'clock at night, you go in there, ma'am. You take your baby a nice bath, wash over. You change her diaper, and you feed your baby. What kind of mother are you? And yes, what kind of father is he? But I'm a mother, so I'm going to say, what the hell kind of mother are you? To let this beautiful baby just rot away at the hands of you and your 600-pound life husband. Because he wasn't missing any meals, and you kind of think you wasn't missing the meals. You was eating all day at McDonald's. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, he was negating the other two children because their mattresses were full of urine and black mold as well. The only thing is Mary Ann's mattress was busted in the middle. She had done it so much, it had literally busted, and she was embedded between the cracks. So y'all tell me what you think about this story in my inbox, in the comments. And do you think they should have gotten life without parole? Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week for another true crime story.